The death of Freddie Gray led to Friday's charging of 6 Baltimore officers. From our own website, Newsmax.com, State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby declared Gray's death to be a homicide. She also said his arrest was illegal and the treatment he received while in custody amounted to murder and manslaughter. Now here's SNL's Michael Che with your punchline.
The state's attorney in Baltimore announced Friday that charges would be filed against 6 police officers in the death of Freddie Gray. It's a vital and important first step on the path to those officers probably being acquitted. A state of emergency was declared in Baltimore after protests turned violent and turned into violent rioting, but no deaths were reported, meaning the riots were still far less dangerous than the backseat of a Baltimore police van.
So, SNL always known for their commentary on current events in that type of format, but it's difficult to try and make those jokes still so close to the events.
Right.
All right.
Can be a little tough.
Right. The unrest in Baltimore, of course, also drew attention to some of the town's famous athletes, including Ray Lewis and his plea for peace on the internet. Of course, it went viral, and for the safety reasons, the Baltimore Orioles had to play a home game with no fans in attendance. Here's SNL's Colin Jost.
Former Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis spoke out against the violence in Baltimore, saying violence is not the answer. Unless, of course, the question is, what made Ray Lewis super rich? Due to the rioting in Baltimore, Wednesday's Orioles game against the White Sox was closed to the public and had 0 fans in attendance, which was probably a good idea since Wednesday was Cal Ripken Molotov Cocktail Day.
Probably a good idea. From baseball to boxing, for many, all eyes focused on the Sin City Saturday night for what was supposed to be the fight of the century. CNN's headline, Pacquiao fans call for a rematch against Mayweather. HBO's Bill Maher offers this idea for a follow-up fight.
New rule. The winner of Saturday night's Mayweather-Pacquiao fight has to take on Baltimore Slap Mob. And the winner of that has to fight Suge Knight's car.
All right, so big sports weekend and more sports in the headlines, more sports in the punchlines. The NBA playoffs head to the second round. SNL brought out Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal to talk hoops on Weekend Update.
These players today are so soft, man. Have you seen the way that they dress? Russell Westbrook with those crazy pattern shirts looks like a Magic Eye poster. If you stand long enough, you'll see a sailboat.
I see it right away.
Yeah, I know you see it. Of course you do. Your eyes are trying to French kiss each other. If these players want to know how to dress, they should talk to me.
Why you? You look like somebody put a jacket on a Cadbury egg.
Oh, snap. Oh my God. He formed a full sentence and now he's tipping over. Oh, good Lord, he's tipping over. Somebody get the man some, maybe we should go.
Oh, love a good impersonation, of course. The Supreme Court was busy last week as well. From Newsmax.com, the Supreme Court hears historic same-sex marriage arguments. SNL's Colin Jost makes his own argument.
During the Supreme Court hearing on the constitutionality of gay marriage, Justice Samuel Alito asked if homosexuals are allowed to marry, what would happen if a group of 2 men and 2 women tried to apply for a marriage license? Well, Sam, I'm no legal expert, but they'd probably tell them no, because that's polygamy and it's illegal, and also not at all the same thing. So let's stick to the case at hand and not try to turn this whole thing into some kind of gay word problem. Because if the gay marriage train leaves Massachusetts at 3 p.m. and the traditional marriage train leaves Tennessee at 6 p.m., it doesn't matter, because look around you, everyone's already on board the gay train.
Oh, not everybody yet.
Well, last week, everyone was buzzing, you may remember this, over that Bruce Jenner interview with Diane Sawyer. SNL tried their hardest to kind of make a joke about it.
In an interview with Diane Sawyer last week, Bruce Jenner revealed that he self-identifies as a woman. It was a moving and brave interview, and obviously this is a delicate subject to talk about. But as a comedy show, we still need to make jokes about it. So here we go. You know, the thing with Bruce Jenner is, and like I said, he's brave. And And, Michael, you want to jump in here?
Nope.
Okay, so, there's one thing, and actually Michael and I were talking backstage.
No, man, that was just you.
Okay. And here's the thing, I just feel like any way you slice it.
No, do not say slice it.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I think it's maybe better even just to,
move on.
Move on.
Yeah, you
back
should
to you,
move on.
Michael.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to move on, too.
We'll just move on from
we're just
that.
going to move on right
Nothing
from that.
to
How's
add to
that?
conversation. We're going to be right here with you for the next few hours, and also maybe to stick around for Ed Berliner coming up here very shortly on
Always good
Newsmax
to have
TV
him
following
on.
Newsmax Now. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.